Yesterday was the day for hot takes. Now is the time for a cool, calm reaction to England. I'm going to just put them under the microscope for a minute and debrief on what happened in Cardiff. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Tim. This is Egg Chasers, and plenty more videos coming as we build up to and during the World Cup. So hit subscribe. But get in the comments. Do you agree with my take? I'm going to pick an England 15 to start against Argentina, based on what we have seen yesterday, adding that into the equation as we move forward. There are some players that are winners out of yesterday. There's some players that are losers, broadly speaking. But I think the biggest thing when I look back on yesterday, and that was the chair creaking, by the way, that wasn't me. Biggest thing I think about when I look back on the game yesterday, and I've had a bit of time to sort of reflect on it, I tried to stay measured yesterday because I don't like making too big a reaction when things aren't good. But it wasn't good, and that much was evident. But England in the last 3 games have conceded 11 tries and scored 3. And the tally yesterday had a big fat 0. Nothing added to that, which is a concern against what was a experimental Welsh team, which Warren Gatland admitted after the game he was a little apprehensive about, and I understand that. And I think the biggest reflection you make when you watch that England game back again was basic errors, which at this level should be a non-negotiable, and that is definitely a concern. I was thinking about why is that though? What is behind that? And I wonder if it's because it had the feel of a trial game. Now the coaches said nobody's on trial in that match against Wales, but the coaches can say that, but the players would have felt that, because everybody that was involved yesterday, or many of the people that were involved in that game for England yesterday, were people that were 50-50 or a bit of a toying course, or wouldn't have been totally confident about getting on the England 33-man squad to France. And for that reason, I just think that's why it felt a bit disjointed. Because I don't know if you've played trial matches. I mean, it's a long time ago since I was involved in those school county trials and things. But yeah, it's a different mentality. Bearing in mind the team's going to get announced on Monday, and the coaches have said it's not a trial, it's not a trial. I wonder if it would have been better to have picked the squad before the game and just treated this as part of the warm-up with the squad, and I think everyone would have just felt much more relaxed. And for that reason, whilst that is a negative right now, I think that's a positive as we move forward, because I think next weekend England are going to be a lot calmer. Guys are going to know where they stand. The guys that aren't involved will have gone home or be back with their clubs, and they'll be upset, obviously, but the ones that are there will know they're in. They can relax. As long as they don't get injured, they're part of England's squad. So I think that's a big factor why England played poorly. I mean, a lot of Wales players were in the same position, but they handled it better. And I guess mentality is a big part of success at this level in sport, isn't it? And England did not have that. What I also thought looking back was England actually created a lot of chances in those first half. They got into the Wales 22 a lot. They just couldn't punch it in. But I guess you should look at it as a positive that they did get into good positions. And I think Steve Borthwick was right to point that out. And I think looking back, he is right. It's a concern they can't finish, but at least they're creating the opportunities. So again, I've got my glass half full this morning off the back of that game. The foundations weren't good enough. Set piece was sometimes very good. Other times got exposed. Line out, key ones got missed. Those, again, like handling errors, these are foundational elements of rugby that at this level, to be a world champion or go far in a World Cup, non-negotiable. So, but they are also relatively quick fixes. So there we go. I think I might have been slightly unfair on Marcus Smith, is one of my other takeaways from yesterday. I actually look back and we did create a lot of opportunities, and Marcus Smith engineered those opportunities, and it's just the people around him didn't do their job and finish it. So I actually thought he played well when I look at it. And some players really did stand up and play well. I mentioned Lewis Ludlam on the video yesterday. George Martin was excellent. Joe Marchant, tell you what I liked about Joe Marchant, it wasn't just the intelligent attacking lines he ran. it was his defensive work as well. I've never played 13, but, you know, very clever rugby people consistently say 13 is the most difficult position to defend. And Joe Marchant, I thought, did it really well. And for that reason, and this is what I'll come on to now, I think it's worth looking at who might have played themselves into the squad. I mentioned this yesterday, and I think Joe Marchant might be one of them, you know. Particularly because he's a 13 who can play on the wing. And I thought the wingers yesterday, in Max Malins and Joe Thockiner-Singer, didn't do enough. And I think it might be worth having Joe Marchant as a 13 option who can play on the wing, given that the wingers he would be ousting aren't going to be wingers that are going to start for England. So that's my thoughts on that. Other than that, I think the biggest winners yesterday were players like Elliot Daly and Johnny May, because they didn't play. So picking an England team then, here we go. What would you change out of this? If we were picking an England team for Argentina right now, I've gone for, well, I've got Ellis Gengin, but Joe Marler. I wonder if Marler starting and Genge off the bench might actually be a better combination. So I'm gonna do that. Marler to start. That's not a criticism of Genge. Jamie George, obvious. Will Stewart as 3 for England. I put him above Kyle Sinclair in England's pecking order. I thought he was good. And yeah, I just think Will Stewart's the best tight head prop England have. Maro Itoje in the second row. Probably Ollie Chesham. Although, I've put in brackets here, George Martin. Because I really liked what I saw from him. Very, very industrious. And at Leicester, quite often you have Martin second row, Chesham flanker, or Chesham second row and Martin flanker. So they at club level, they're kind of interchangeable. And I think with England, they might well be as well. And then a back 3, I can't pick it. I'd probably go, personally, Laws, Jack Willis, Curry, and put Curry at 8. I think there's a compromise you have to make in the England back row to accommodate the people you want. Billy Vunipola, I think, was the other one in the mix. So any 4 from those 3, I would go Courtney Laws, Jack Willis, Tom Curry at number 8, personally. Scrum half, I don't know. If you were going to put money, like bet your mortgage on players that are absolutely guaranteed to be in the England team, if fit, against Argentina, this is the concern for England. I've got Owen Farrell, Jamie George, Maro Itoje, and that's basically it. The ones I put my mortgage on, if I was betting a moderate amount of money, I'd probably add Freddie Stewart and Anthony Watson into the mix there. But 3 people that I would practically bet my life on being in the England team if they're fit, and 12 spots where I would not do that, that's not a good place to be this close to a World Cup, and it's something Steve Borthwick has got to solve. We have to get a lot closer to that in the next couple of weeks. But so scrum half is a perfect example. I don't know. Pick one, whoever. I've just written down Ben Youngs, but I don't know. The rest of the back line, I'm a bit more confident on. Owen Farrell, Manu Tuolangi and Ollie Lawrence in the centre. Henry Arundel or Elliot Daly on the wing. I'd probably go Daly and have Arundel off the bench. So my back 3 would be Elliot Daly, Anthony Watson and Freddie Stewart. There we go. Marler, George, Stewart, Itoje, Chesham, Curry, Willis, Laws, Willis, Curry, Youngs, Farrell, Tuolangi, Lawrence, Daly, Watson, Stewart. That's my England team. Those are my takeaways from yesterday. Calmly. What do you think? Let me know.